Yo, what's up, dude?
Had that I was sort of jamming to that music there. I kind of
I know,
wanted
right?
to keep listening
So
to the
like it
music.
makes me feel good about myself. I was like, oh, here we go, about to get started, and then you get these two bozos on the
Here
screen.
we are, right? We gotta live up to the hype of the intro music there.
Right?
Um, I'll tell you about living up. Let me talk to you about living up to the hype here. I am fresh off less than 24 hours from my first minor league baseball game or any baseball game of the season. I went to your Lake County Captains last night
I see that.
in Lake County and at just 17 miles. Uh, let's see. I learned in Cleveland all about East Side versus West Side.
Yeah, I was
That
just
was a
gonna
whole
say,
conversation last
how'd
night. So
that
yeah, yeah.
go?
It was good, man. Well, we had people from both sides, and they, it was actually really good. But we went out to the East Side and and watched a ball game, and it was like an amazingly beautiful night. We got poured on. We poured rain on us for all day Monday. And I was just like, oh, dear God, we're going to be freezing and soaking wet. And then yesterday was beautiful. It was like this amazing day all day long. And we had a bunch of stuff to do on the work trip that I was on. We had a bunch of stuff to do outside. So that was great. And, thanks to the good folks at baseballmapper.com, I knew exactly where to find baseball.
There
And
you go.
we
There you
found some
go.
baseball, and I just tweeted out my updated life list baseball map. Just tweeted that out with the addition of Lake County Captains now. So my baseball season has begun. I've got a lot of stuff planned. Maybe we should talk about our Minnesota trip here
Oh man,
coming
I'm
up.
trying so hard.
I know. You and Anna are
You're
both trying.
killing me, Smalls. And I was like, oh my God. Oh,
uh,
Minnesota adult two games in one day. First of all, thanks, Mike. That was my idea. The background. Thank you.
Good work
I
by
look
Ed right here.
professional. What are you talking about? I put a polo on, Johnny.
Ed looks very professional. I think that might just be an underhanded shot at Paul looks unprofessional.
He goes
Paul
like,
is wearing a hoodie and a t-shirt, and
right.
Johnny wants me to know about
I
it.
was like,
So
someone needs to clean up a little bit here.
yeah, yeah. So that's my first baseball experience of the year. I was thrilled by it. I was very pleased by the dad hat selection. Less pleased about the fact that there were no ice cream helmets. I wasn't expecting them. I heard that they didn't have them there, but
You were
I,
hopeful.
I was hopeful, and it looked like they had one. I didn't actually see anyone get it, but they had one of these like giant ones with like a bunch of scoops in it, and it's just. I was there with one other person, and she is not the sort of person who was going to eat 5 scoops of ice cream.
A whole gallon of ice cream in one helmet.
Yeah, so we didn't do that.
But what's the helmet? What kind of helmet was it? Was it Guardians helmet? Because that's what they do. They just get like their parent stuff.
That's what Akron does. Akron does. You can get a Cleveland helmet in Akron, except for the Screamer, which is like the full size one with like
Oh yeah,
like 21 scoops and the bananas and all that. And so I didn't
which they
actually get
made
a
a
look at
dad hat of.
it. Yes, they did. They did make a dad hat of that, and I have it on a T-shirt as well. So Mike Sellers took an awesome road trip. He was
I know,
going
dude. Right?
great places. He
Col-
did something that looked a lot like last year's Baseball Palooza.
For real. Hey, Colin. Tell me. Put it on the comments. Where's going to be your first game this Tuesday? I want to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mike.
So Mike.
Though, however, man, like that was a legit. I was like, every time I'm looking at my feed, I see him, posting pictures. I'm like, oh my God. I'm so
Yeah.
jealous.
Yeah,
Dr.
that looks
Pepper
great.
Park and all that. So got
That
to
looks great.
meet our fellow friend Anna. So
That's right. I'm jealous. We haven't met Anna in person yet.
I
So
know, right?
Colin's
And
going to see the Columbia Fireflies. That's a
I
great
will
one.
be there on the 23rd.
Yeah.
I am
Hey,
going to Columbia on the 23rd.
we should add the YouTube link to the tweet that you put out so
Sure.
that people who
I think I did.
oh, you did already. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Nope, I did.
All right. Very good. You're good. I'm bad. And Johnny has figured out how to comment on it. He's coming in here. He's tweeting. He's commenting on the Facebook stream. So yeah. So if
I know, right? Look at him.
if
Look
you're
at him.
watching if you're watching on Twitter, we can't see your comments. But if you're watching on Facebook or YouTube, we can see your comments.
That's correct.
So, and we love you.
I will try to look at on my Twitter feed because that's where it's at today. And I'll look for the comments.
Yeah.
So
Ed,
yeah.
what's your your first baseball experience going to be? Look, Anna's here.
Whoa, look at that.
Anna's checking in, saying hello.
Hi, Anna. You guys were all just hanging out, and then I'm here at home. That's cool.
I think this is the first time I've seen a picture of Anna's wife. So, hello, Anna's wife, Nick. That's Nick. Nick
Hi,
has given
Nick.
Anna permission to attend the Minnesota trip that I've been talking about. Let's talk about this Minnesota trip here for a
So,
second. I know you're trying it.
I think you should do a live, plead to the official CFO of the Dad Hat Chronicles to allow me to go to Minnesota. So see if that works, right?
Darla, this is your friend Paul. Darla, let's just talk, you and me. Everyone else is out of the room, Darla. Ed and I and Anna, we need to have the first Curved Brim Media Summit in Minnesota for listen, I'm going through some trials and some tribulations right now in my life, and so
he needs a
baseball is the
friend.
thing. I need to be surrounded by loved ones, and Ed is, just like he's just been there for me this whole time, and so there's nothing that I need more. Your friend, here's me, your friend Paul, pleading to you to have Ed come join us in Minnesota for a Minnesota Twins St. Paul Saints doubleheader. It's a 24-hour trip. Ed can shack up with me in the hotel room. We'll save on cost there.
There it is. I love it. There you go.
So Eric Lichtenberg, by the way, is waving hello. Eric Lichtenberg, Helmet Sunday, the godfather of Helmet Sunday collecting. Eric Lichtenberg is going to be at that St. Paul Saints Minnesota Twins doubleheader on June 11.
It's
traumatic without your buddies.
Oh my god!
Let me just say this: I just had a 4-year relationship end, and I am filling the void in my life with
a lot of baseball.
With a lot of baseball, and so, Darla, do you want me to be sad, or do you want Ed to come on this trip? That is the dichotomy.
I love it. I love it. Hopefully, she'll watch it. All right. So before we go on, should we bring our guests on?
And we should bring our guest on.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Let's do it.
Absolutely. This is one of my favorite people in the world, and he is a member of Curved Brim Media, like Anna and Jim, who you had on last week. I was so jealous not to be able to be a part of that, though my daughter's concert was excellent. But we have with us tonight one of the two brains behind the amazing website baseballmapper.com, which has been instrumental in planning road
as he's drinking his awesome beer.
I have a very light beer with a lime in it right now. So,
Patrick, hey guys! Hey guys!
Patrick, how are things?
Things are going good, guys. Things are going good. We are about to take our first trip of 2022 as well.
So, where's that going to be?
Where are we going?
Heading out actually tomorrow to get a start on our way to Alabama. 2 days in Alabama. We're spending the first day with the Rocket City Trash Pandas on Friday, and then heading to Rickwood on Saturday to see the Bananas on their world tour.
Nice.
So, Patrick, can I make a personal plea to you?
Sure, whatever you need.
Could I get you to grab me one of those red helmets that they're serving ice cream in that Virgil Brooks just tweeted out tonight?
I promise you have at least one coming, my friend. You know I got your back always.
All right. So here I come then.
Okay.
I need to know if they have dad hats there. I know they have maybe one or two. They have a white one. You guys already know how I feel about a white hat. I cannot do white. I will get it dirty, but let me know, because also the Party Animals, that logo is hilarious and is amazing on the world tour. So if they have a dad hat, you let me know, my friend.
All right. Does it have to be a special brand or anything, or can I just go wild? No. Okay.
Go for it. Absolutely.
The Rocket City Trash Pandas are coming up. I was just editing that episode of the podcast today. They're going to be they're my May 10 episode. And
nice.
that's the one where I'm trying to get someone from NASA to come on and talk to me. They've got the Marshall Space Center there in Madison. So I'm trying to get someone from NASA on the podcast here. So
how is that going?
Well, I have connections there, and there's been some email exchanges. So we're trying to line someone up. We're trying to get an educator from the Marshall Space Center in Madison. So stand by.
How awesome! Yeah, like how awesome that you have connections at NASA. That's incredible. Right.
That's through my day job. I've been using a lot of my day job connections to
As you should.
do. Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely. Right. That's
My day job does not give me contacts like that, so
Mm.
kind of jealous.
we often have folks from NASA presenting at our conferences, and so I got a person there. But all of my NASA people are in DC, and so they're like, well, let's put you in touch with someone in Alabama. So
Nice.
Patrick, I don't know. I hope you heard me saying that I knew about the Lake County Captains, and I knew to get out to a game there because of baseballmapper.com.
It's a true
But
story.
because this, we're streaming in 3 different outlets right now, and the video lives in perpetuity
Mhm.
for all to come join and hang out and watch. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about, for everyone who has not heard episode 18 of the Baseball by Design podcast, on which you were a featured guest. Can you tell us about Baseball Mapper? What do you guys do?
Ed, what episode was I for you? Wasn't I like 20 for you?
Yeah, you were actually
Oh.
on. I'm looking right now. I'm
I
actually
got you in
looking
2
right
episodes.
now.
I'm 2 episodes ahead of Ed, I think. On
Wow.
that.
You were
That's-
episode 6.
impressive.
No, wait.
It's okay. That's all right. We're working behind the scenes on that.
There you go. Keep going. Just keep talking, and I'll find you.
I got you. All right. So
Episode 20.
20. Okay. See, not bad. Well, thank you, gentlemen. Thank you for having me. I appreciate that. I'm glad to make it, even though my partner in crime, who is incredible at building maps for a website, by the way, Corey, is busy being his best version of Billy Hoyle from White Men Can't Jump. He's all over. He's all over the adult men's league basketball right now. He's probably draining threes. Nobody's giving him any appreciation. And he's putting up 25 points tonight every time, guys. I'll tell you that.
It's a sneaky 25.
25
It is a
points in
sneaky
his head.
Afterwards, and you're like, how did he
Right.
do that?
Exactly. They're like, this guy for sure. And he's out there breaking ankles. Nobody hustles harder than Corey, but he's also great at making maps. He is.
That-
So
He really is.
yeah. So a couple of years ago, we were actually in, speaking of space centers, we were in Houston looking for something to do besides the Space Center. Yes, we went to the Space Center.
Awesome.
It was really pretty cool, but we wanted to get more baseball in and couldn't find any other baseball in the area because the Sugarland Skeeters were out of town. So we were looking and we came across the Brazos Valley Bombers. I always give credit to this team because they are just such a small little, pin on the map, but it really kind of spurred this idea and got our wheels turning, thinking, how many other leagues are there out there that have baseball that we don't know about? That league, the Texas Collegiate League, it's like 5 or 6 teams pretty much, but you could go catch a game in the summertime when you're in the Texas area, or partner it with minor league baseball or even Major League Baseball. So it got us thinking, what if we could find more of those leagues? And we really put our effort into putting this map together that has all the leagues from all over North America. We've added more to it as we went. A lot of times people are giving us ideas of different leagues to add, and our motto is, if you can get a ticket to it and you can go catch a game, we want you to be able to know where it is, and
I
we've
like
put them
that.
on the map. So
right.
we're up to like 920 25 teams, or it grows because I think, and Paul, you just gave us another team to add, the Fort Collins Foxes.
The Fort Collins Foxes.
That's a really small collegiate league, right?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I often don't even know what league they're in because it sort of changes. Like, I wasn't surprised that it wasn't there already because I can't find a website for their league. I think it's one dude who owns 4 teams, and like 3 of the teams are the Washington Generals, and the Foxes always get like the best players. But it's
I wonder how that works out.
it's half a mile from my house. So I walk up there, and you can spend $6 to sit in the bleachers, or you can just bring your own stuff, bring your own chairs and sit anywhere, beyond either dugout and watch the game for free. You bring a pizza with you, you bring a cooler of beer, and it's just like, God, it's like the
That
best
sounds like
summer
a
evening.
great night right there.
It's awesome. It's fantastic. And I always, I'll get a ticket regardless of where I'm sitting, just because I want to support the team. So, and The other thing they do for the kids is every A that you get on your report card, you get a free ticket. And so my kids are both nerds. My kids haven't paid for a ticket to a Foxes game in years.
Right.
So.
God,
You just
nerds are cool, man.
Right? Yeah, you just bring your report card with you. So
nerds will run the world, man.
Exactly. So so it's a great little thing, the Fort Collins Foxes, and they have a really nice logo too. I like their logo. It's sort of like understated, sort of classy. And
I just looked up the Brazos Valley Bombers. That logo is cool.
It's awesome. That logo is awesome. I really like it a whole lot. And John actually brings up a good point here. That team, they just added a new team into that league. I forgot the name of it. And I mean, I could pull it up here on the map. I have a map, but that league kind of fluctuates between a few teams. Again, 5 or 6 team league. A lot of these teams are playing each other over and over again all summer long. But what you just described, Paul, I mean, that's awesome, man. I mean, that's a good time. You can't always go see a movie, or you might not even want to always go see a movie. Maybe there's nothing out, but there's games to go catch. Yeah. So go check it out, and you can find teams. And, the other day we posted something last week. I think we posted on Twitter. Check in to see what's the closest team to you on the map. And that's really, I wanted that to be kind of an eye-opening experience, because a lot of teams, a lot of people might think this team is closer because that's the team they go to, but there actually might be some, I think about Ed, you live in North Carolina, an embarrassment of riches out there. You got baseball teams all around you now.
It's
and
insane.
All of a sudden, there might be teams closer that you didn't even realize because you've never been, or it just might be a brand new team. And that's what we want people to be able to find is go to this. That's right. The River Monsters. Thanks, Zach.
They're just following me. I remember that. I should have known that.
Right. And so, I mean, that's the whole point of baseballmapper.com, man, is put all the teams, every league, independent, collegiate, Division I, even like right now, I mean, Division I's had a whole month where people have been able to kind of go around. If you're a ballpark traveler, go get some college ball in. They're on the map too. You just got to filter them. So we try to make it as easy to find as possible.
But I am going to give you some crap though.
Well, I expected. Guardians fans.
Listen.
No, I just kidding.
You don't have the Roberto Clemente League here.
Oh.
Is that the league that's in Puerto Rico?
Yeah.
Is that league is that just in the winter?
It's the winter league,
it's,
Okay.
The winter baseball
league.
Sort of
shorthand. The shorthand name for it is the Puerto Rican Winter League.
Yeah. Exactly. Which, by the way, their logo designed by who, Paul?
Brandios, our friends at Brandios. Very cool logo for that league, and very much not Brandios, right? Like very
much not. Like I was surprised that when I saw that it was them. I'm like, what?
Yeah. Well, this is like the league logos are a special thing. This would be a whole point of conversation, right? I have an episode coming up on May 31st. May 31st is the opening day for the West Coast League, and the West Coast League has a new logo. And I have the league commissioner is Rob Nyer, who was a commentator on ESPN and did he had ESPN and Fox Sports and SB Nation, and he's written like 7-8 books now on baseball, and he's the commissioner of the league. And so I had him on to talk about the West Coast League, which is known for the Portland Pickles right now. They're obviously the most famous team in the league, but they've got 16 teams. The Nanaimo Night Owls, who play by the Nanaimo bars during day games. They have 2 different brands for day games and night games, which is amazing. Fun. They've got the Walla Walla Sweets, whose logo is an onion. They've got, I mean, like I said, they've got 16 different teams. Oh, and former guest of Dad Hat by Design, what do you call it? The Yakima Valley Pippins, whose hat I got on National Hat Day because they showed up on the old audio version of Dad Hat by Design. They've got a bunch of great teams. But anyway, the league logo that they do, like, it's meant to be a sleeve patch. It's meant to sort of get out of the way. It's meant to not compete with the teams themselves, with the team logos. And so it was, for Brandiose to come in and be like, we're going to do this like understated logo that looks like the MLB logo, but it's got Roberto Clemente's silhouette in it. And, it's just going to look awesome on a patch and on the back of a hat. That was super cool that they did that. So,
and it's amazing.
It's a great logo. Yeah, it's a great league logo. So, and the West Coast logo is one that I like as well.
And it's better than the logo that they had.
Yeah, they had a bad logo before.
They had a horrible logo.
It's easy to go wrong with the interlocking letters, right? Like it's easy to just make it look like your printer jammed instead of like you actually designed a logo.
Yeah, so I was surprised. I was very happy with it though. So
yeah. Patrick, you said you were going to see the Rocket City Trash Pandas, and then I think we may have cut you off before your other destination on your Alabama trip.
No, we're going to see the Bananas on the world tour, and they're going to be playing at Rickwood. So look at the Bananas shirt on. Yeah, I got a couple of those. Got a couple of Bananas shirts to be able.
I went all yellow today.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
So you'll meet our friend Matt Grafer down there, the young professor.
Yeah, I hope we get it. I'm not sure if he's on that trip because. Well, I guess is he with them all the time?
He's doing the world tour with them, yeah.
Okay, yeah, but I thought it was until Daytona started, right?
That was my question, Ed.
I could be wrong.
Because he's up and running now in Daytona.
Okay, well, I could be wrong about that.
That has CFO.
So Darla's here. I hope Darla heard my impassioned plea, by the way. It's
I don't think she did. I think you have to do it again.
I think you need to do it again. The impassioned plea.
Oh, that's what the people want. Yeah.
That's pretty funny. Darla, I need you to help me heal from personal trauma by letting Ed go on my Minnesota trip.
What can't baseball fix?
My day night
fixes all everything.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. And what is Corporal Hicks saying here at Rocket City? Get a rocket-shaped kids cup. All right.
What? Okay. Yeah, I'll get that too. Yeah. I mean,
it's happening.
One of those too.
So I have to say that I did one favor for Patrick, and it took me forever to actually fulfill this promise that I made Patrick after our Montana trip last year, where I said I would ship some things that he couldn't take on the plane with him.
Yeah.
And then Patrick has been trying to make this up to me. Like Patrick has repaid this debt 50 times over. And he's like, every time I go to a game, I'll get you whatever you want.
But thank you.
Well, no. So we made good friends with a clubby down there, the clubhouse manager of the Missoula Paddleheads. I have to get his name. I'm going to have to look that up. But
the club, Eric the Peanut Guy was his buddy there.
I mean, Eric helped. Eric helped.
He knows everybody.
Yeah, I mean, but believe me, I definitely wanted to foster the relationship. He's a great guy to have contact with, but he's also a funny guy. We hung out for drinks and stuff afterwards. Just really, really cool guy. And every time there was a foul ball or in between innings, he'd come back with a handful of foul balls and drop them off. A broken bat, he would just come by and be like, yeah, he pointed to me one time and he's like, hey, here you go, man. And I'm like, thanks.
He's just handing out broken bats like they're like it was
But think like Anna said, look at your study, how awesome it looks, and I'm sure that bat looks amazing in your study.
Well, hold on a second.
There we go.
I love
Corporal
this.
Corporal Hicks is saying that they serve this. Oh, here you go.
Oh, there it is.
There it is. And this is all because Paul was willing to send this to me. Drove this in from, Montana on your trip around the Pioneer League. You went ahead and decided to take that with you, throw it in the back of your car. Actually, we got two of them. He came back up and gave a second one, and I didn't let Corey know about it.
This was all top secret.
This was top secret. And so, again, Paul, part of the reason why, and it's funny that this is coming out in this format because I typically wouldn't say anything about it. but the thing that I care about most is that I wanted to make it a surprise for Corey. He worked really hard on this map, which is part of the reason why we were on this trip. And he wouldn't ask anybody for anything. And the fact that he could get a game used bat and had no idea until it arrived in the mail. And I brought it with, we met up at like a Milkman. We were at a Milwaukee Milkman game. I said, come to the car with me. And I gave him the bat that you sent for us as well. So we got a couple.
The part of the story that Patrick is leaving out here. So I was driving with my kids on this Montana trip, and then obviously Ed and Corey flew in. And, it was real easy for me. And here, Patrick's like, I don't know how I'm going to get these back. I don't know what to do. We may have to stop by like a FedEx thing or something. He's like, but I wanted it to be a surprise. So I'm like, just give me the bats and I'll just throw them in the car and I'll ship them when I get home. And the part of the story that Patrick is leaving out here is like, it took me freaking forever to like find a box, to find a way to like do this that made like sense, like an easy way to send these. Like I kept trying to like sort of fashion like Frankenstein together these boxes, and it just looked like my third grade art project, right? Like it was just a disaster, and I was like, I can't put this in the mail.
Dude,
so it took me, like, honestly, Patrick, like a month and a half to actually find a box that worked. And so I finally, I just put it in the mail, and Patrick's like, let me pay you for the shipping. I'm like, no, maybe if I shipped it the next day, I would have taken you up on that. But it took me like a freaking month and a half to actually get it in the mail. So, but anyway, like ever since then, every time Patrick goes to a game, I'm
making it up to you.
I can see on the shelf behind me right now some of the helmets that Patrick has sent me since then. So,
I like it.
If that, if taking those bats home and sending them to Patrick gets me a lifetime supply of helmets every time Patrick goes to a game, I'll take it.
Yeah.
That's
what you're looking at, buddy.
If you squint and you look way off in the corner behind me there, you can see a bat leaning up against the wall.
I see it
between the ping pong table and the Helmet Sunday shelf. And that's my broken Missoula Paddleheads bat that I got to take home with me.
I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Sometimes people will come downstairs and they'll be like, oh, a bat. And they go to swing it and it's like fractured in the middle. And it bends. I'm like, no.
Don't touch it.
Yeah.
I actually sent the bat. I went to spring training when they were known as the Indians. And I actually have a broken bat from Yan Gomes.
Oh,
went to FedEx that day.
That's very cool.
I'm trying to get him to sign it, but it's been very hard.
Yeah.
But I actually, we went to 3 or 4 FedExes. I think I remember. I was nervous as all get because I'm like, oh my God, is this bat gonna make it? I was scared that it was not gonna make it home because I was sending this sucker.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
It made it. It's behind me actually.
Well, I know that Patrick and I disagree on the whole notion of giving foul balls to kids.
I'm sorry, but I'm with Patrick on this one. We talked about this.
I remember on the podcast on the Dad Hat Chronicles that you guys talked about this, and I am very much like the moment a foul ball enters my hands, I'm like, okay, kid, where's a kid? And then you guys are like, no, and I get this, right? Like, you've lived longer, you've waited longer, and they've got their whole lives to get foul balls, right? But this was funny. Like, as we're walking out of the Paddleheads game, all these kids are seeing us with our bats, and I'm just like, no, this is different. You don't get these bats.
No,
first of all,
this is adult stuff.
Right, and the clubby came and found us, right? Like the clubby's like, here, these bats are for you. And I'm like, nah, this is a gift. I can't give this to you. So that was funny though. These kids are like, oh, you have bats, huh? But like, those are cool bats.
Here's the thing, though. Patrick is right. Okay,
True.
We as adults.
Well, listen, you could. Hey, Ed, just stop there. You're right. You're right.
Put that on a t-shirt.
Right. Patrick is right. T-shirt
Patrick's
sold. But listen, I got it. If I get my foul ball, I'm keeping that one. If I get another one, then I'll give it away. But I am keeping the first one just because this little kid and my daughter will probably do the same thing. I will use my daughter, guys. I am not ashamed to say this.
Oh, 100%.
I will use my daughter to go get a baseball from a player. I will.
It'll be quick. It'll be quick and easy.
Help me, God. I will. I'm like, baby girl, put on the charm. Let's go.
That's hilarious. Well, I used so my daughter Maya at the time was 14, and I was just like, Maya, I need you to carry these bats out so that kids will stop asking me for them. You're a 14-year-old girl, so you can have the bat here. So
there it is.
Yeah,
it happens.
Is funny. I like that Darla's comment was just he was annoying. I actually don't know what that was in reference to
because of our my when I was sending the FedEx bat, the Yan Gomes bat. I was
Okay.
acting like a kid. I was annoying. Hey, listen.
Okay. I'm looking forward to meeting Darla and the little monster in September for our Colorado trip.
That's right.
We've got the Owls with a Z, the
Hmm.
Rockies with an S, and the Vibes with a V coming up.
And we're actually
Ooh.
we're looking into going down in June to a certain Jacksonville ballpark meetup.
The June 25.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know a little something about that trip. That's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah.
I used
So-
I used my wife to get JD Martinez's autograph.
Yes.
That's
I'm enjoying
good.
this. I'm enjoying
That's good,
this.
man. That's it all comes out here. It comes out here in this stuff. That's cool.
But
Yeah. Yeah. Anna's comment is great. We need an official travel plan on the site. Could Baseball Mapper handle this, right? Like this is
Well, we have our own travel page, but
Yeah.
try to keep up with everybody else. I mean,
right.
hell,
Right.
we can't keep up with James. James got a whole itinerary booked
James
out. I
is
have
yeah,
no
his
idea
travel
what
plan
he's
is
got
great.
going on.
Woo, man,
Well, and
I
I
can't
have
keep up.
I've got the Baseball Palooza trip coming up here,
Mhm.
and so the guys always laugh at me, right? Because it's always the 9 or 10 guys on Baseball Palooza, and then the last few years, like every game, it's been like it's been like people who I know on Twitter are like, hey, I'll come hang out. So like my buddies get to meet my Twitter friends too here. So Patrick and I were just having this conversation about the Fort Wayne, the Tin Caps, right? You're looking at the Tin Caps game.
Yeah, that's
Maybe.
a very strong possibility. There's
Sweet.
been a couple people reach out to us about the Tin Caps and meeting up there, and it's like one of my favorite brands that's nearby us, and I've
Yeah.
never been.
Yeah.
It's one of those unexplainable things that it's like it's not even 4 hours away, but
Yeah.
I drive by Fort Wayne all the time.
I've heard such great things about that ballpark too.
It's gorgeous. It looks great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would really like to go, and I told Corey about it, and I was like, "Hey, man, what do you think about meeting up with Paul if we can get a chance?" If he says he thinks it's going to be in August, he's like, "I don't know. It depends on when it is." And I have things going on in the beginning of August too, so I'm like, "It's got to be the right day." And then you're like, "I think it's going to be end of the month." I'm like, "Yes, I think it's going to happen." So it's possible we meet you in Fort Wayne and just hang out for the night and meet your dozen
Fantastic.
friends. And I want to gamble with all of them. I want to do the betting that you were talking about.
Oh, the dollar game.
The dollar
Absolutely.
game.
Come
Yeah,
participate in the
man.
dollar game, man.
Yeah, I'll bring
the
like
dollar
50
game.
singles.
Bring a bunch of singles.
A bunch of adults at a baseball game with a bunch of singles. What
I have to
could
tell
go
you,
wrong?
this
It
draws
sounds awesome.
such an
It
audience.
does.
Like it's hilarious. Like at first people are sort of looking at it as funny. So in case anyone didn't hear the episode of the podcast, the dollar game is we usually have 9 or 10 guys. And so we work it out so that everyone gets one person in the lineup. Everyone gets one slot in the lineup. And so, and in each, home and away. So you might get and we just use a random number generator. So you might get the 7th guy in the home lineup and the 9th guy in the visiting lineup, or you might get 2nd and 3rd, right? So it's just a random number generator. And it almost doesn't matter. It doesn't sometimes people will trade or whatever. But the thing that happens is, once and it doesn't matter if they get substituted out or anything, you just get the 2nd and the 7th, home and away or whatever. If that batter gets a single, everyone owes you $1. If that batter gets a double, everyone owes you $2, and then triple and home run $3 and $4.
Yeah.
And so you can you could clear $20, $25. You might end up down $20, $25. I mean, it's usually not that big a swing. It usually average, and over the course of 4 days. Although there's always one guy who seems to go over every single game. There's one guy who ends up down $150 for the whole 4-day trip or whatever.
Oh, I'm gonna win this one.
Yeah, exactly. And I've had times where I was down, I was down $10, $15, and then I'd get a meaningless 9th inning home run. We in a blowout, right? You get a home run from your guy, and all of a sudden you get $32 because there's 8 guys, all of you $4, and it's yeah. So we're over there. We're at every hit, people are celebrating and booing and handing dollars around, and it always draws an audience. People around us are what are these?
They have
guys
no
doing?
idea what's going on. They're
Right.
What the hell?
And trying to figure it out, right? Because it's not by team, right? Because the same guy could be celebrating for the 2nd guy in the home lineup and the 7th guy in the visiting lineup. And so you still follow the game, and you're still interested in like the
Oh, you're
prospects.
definitely
and you
following the
still-
game because you want your dollar.
Yeah, exactly. And it just brings this whole like, and then sometimes there'll be a play where the ball's bobbled or whatever, and the runner beats out the throw, and you're just like, everyone's sitting there watching the scoreboard, waiting to see if it's going to be a hit or an error, because that determines whether you owe $1 or not.
Never seen so many adults rooting for an error.
Right, exactly. Yeah, 7 of us rooting for an error and 1 guy rooting for a hit.
That's awesome.
It sounds like so much fun, man. I
It's
mean, I
a
don't know
total
why.
blast.
Yeah, I mean, what a great way to add a little extra fun
Totally.
to the game anyway. You know,
Totally.
like
And
That's
so
awesome.
my buddy Jeremy, who was on the episode of the podcast last week, there was one instance we were the only time we've ever seen a major league game on Baseball Palooza was we were in the Chicagoland area, and they were playing at Wrigley, and so some guys hadn't been to Wrigley before, and it was just like, we're doing a baseball trip to Chicago.
Mhm.
We got some of the guys haven't been to Wrigley. We got to do Wrigley, and we don't assign the pitcher's slot. We don't do in a National League game. Well, not anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. But
doesn't matter
previously,
anymore.
We wouldn't assign the pitcher's slot. And so I one time got the 8th guy on the home team, and then the pitcher got hurt, and they did a double switch. And so the pitcher was batting 8th all of a sudden. So the rest of the guys were just like, let's just give Paul the 9th spot instead of the 8th spot, because, otherwise he's saddled with the pitcher. And my buddy Jeremy like just vehemently opposed this. He's like, Paul drew number 8. It's the luck of the draw. This is what happens in the game. He doesn't get, I disapprove of this. And so I did not have Venmo at the time. I was the Eric the Peanut guy of the group at that time. I did not have Venmo. And
Which
in
needs
this
a
game,
Venmo account, guys.
after they switched my player, the only hit I got the entire game was a single by a guy in the ninth spot. And everyone gives me $1 except Jeremy, who Venmos me $1.
I like his level of petty, dude. That's what I like.
That's good. I'm gonna give you the $1.
Right.
I'm gonna Venmo it to you.
It's not
Exactly.
going to be easy. Not gonna be
Exactly.
easy.
So yeah,
Good luck paying that transfer fee to your bank account now.
Well, right, exactly. Exactly right. So I had to sign up for Venmo just because he Venmo'd me $1. So I couldn't believe. I was like, I got the email like, sign up for Venmo and claim this $1.
That's
awesome.
So
That's
I
good.
thought that was pretty.
That's the kind of friend you need at a baseball trip.
Yeah,
Yep,
exactly.
Yep. Anna says you're lucky it wasn't pennies.
Yeah,
True story.
that's the way to do it too. Right.
Absolutely. So, Ed, what
No,
about
I
you?
do-
Sorry, go ahead. Patrick,
I'm sorry. I was going to say, I think it's a really good idea to talk about all the traveling that everybody's doing and trying to coordinate. I think it's a really good idea. I think it's something we should do. And when I say that, Anna, I'm so glad you're here.
Right,
on
right.
media. And no, we're here to help out too. But no, I think it's a really good idea. I love the idea of us going around and seeing people in person and buying a beer for somebody who has only known us because of the map or known us on Twitter. I'm a big fan of that idea anyway. So I want to meet as many people as possible in person. And I think it'd be great to kind of put it out there. We all have itineraries. We all have our trips.
Yeah.
True.
Let's get it to where everybody can see it and do what they can with it.
I have to say, I put out this idea of the Minnesota doubleheader just because it's something that I've been thinking about for a long time. Like I've wanted to do for a while. Is both of these ballparks, I've always wanted to see the Saints, and the Twins are one of the major league parks that I've wanted to get to and have not. If you saw the map I tweeted out today, it's one of the major league ballparks that I don't have on there. And so it was funny because I just trying to fill my calendar with baseball travel, right? For various reasons, but putting it out there, just like, I'm going to do this by myself. Anyone who wants to join is welcome to join. And all of a sudden we've got a group of like 15 people who want to do this game, and we'll see how many of them actually, can make it. But
still, at least the initial thought that
the initial reaction,
people want to be participating in this. Yeah. That's awesome.
And new followers, right? Because the Saints retweeted it, right? Like, and so all of a sudden I had a bunch of new followers because of the St. Paul Saints retweeting my little plan there. And these people are on there and they're like, I want to do this. I want to come with you. And so I think what I'm going to do is just be like, okay, we're sitting in this section in this row. Get yourself some seats and come join us. And then like everyone will sort of do, they'll get themselves, to each game each way, but we'll all sort of be part of that same group in that same spot there. So,
I like
but
it.
I was sort of impressed by, by the reaction that happened to this just by putting it out on Twitter. And then, what is Eric saying here? ICT. Oh, that's Wichita to Minneapolis. June 11, Eric. June 11 is the big Twins Saints doubleheader. It's a Twins game at 1:00. We'll take is it the green line? Someone will know better than I do. I know we have Eric Lichtenberg on here. I think it's the green line from St. Paul, from Minneapolis to St. Paul to see the Saints. I got a hotel by the airport, stay overnight, fly out early the next day. It'll be door to door.
Turnaround.
It'll be like 20. It'll be 2 baseball games in 24 hours. And like Eric Lichtenberg was like, hey, if you need any, advice on, places to go or see or like places to eat or, I got it. The green line.
Look at Eric. He's like,
Yeah, is right. Is right. Exactly. So it's, it's for me, it's also like way, way easier and way less expensive to get to this one than the Jacksonville one. Unfortunately, the Jacksonville one.
Yeah, that's across the country for you.
Well, it's across the country, but also my children will be here. And my children are going to be out of town on June 11th. So that one's like super easy for me.
Leave them there.
Well, they'd be fine. They'd be fine on their own. Or they could come to the game with me, right? Like, yeah, like this, like everything about this just like worked out like just right for me. Philip's right that the best way to road trip is by car. And that's what we do for baseball every year.
We're debating here at the Riveras whether or not we want to fly because it would be Mia's first flight, to go from North Carolina to Jacksonville, or do the drive. So we'll see. We don't know. We haven't really decided this one yet.
Yeah, I took my kids to Arizona for spring training when they were real little like that, and they did great. And that was before devices even. They just like, I don't know, they just hung out in the car.
Well, she can't.
My kids like road trips.
Device.
My kids like road trips, man.
Yeah.
It's been trained that way. We go every summer down to Gulf Shores, Alabama.
Nice.
And we had done it a lot. It's something we had done a lot. And so that was, again, early baseball trip planning, 10 plus years ago. I was always fitting baseball in on the way down. And then when I was down there in Alabama, whether it was Mobile or Pensacola, I was always fitting in trips. But the drive, that 16-hour drive is a part of it. We'd stop somewhere. Maybe it was Memphis. Maybe it was Nashville, and make a couple of days there and then drive a little bit more. And the kids have grown into road trippers. They don't look at a 6-hour trip as anything. That's nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Well, when Ed and Darla are here in Colorado this summer, Ed was talking about being interested in Yellowstone, and I'm like, it's
not
a 7-hour drive.
The wife.
Oh, well,
that's all the
so
wife.
Darla,
I'm gonna give full credit to that one. She is the tree hugger. So
Darla is interested in Yellowstone. Yellowstone's an amazing place, right? Like, and you can, you can definitely get up there, and it's a 7-hour drive from Fort Collins to get to Yellowstone, but it's like. When I lived on the East Coast, the idea of a 7-hour drive was just like, oh, that sounds exhausting, right? But out here, it's like
that's what you have to do.
and it was like when we were in Montana, right? Like part of the experience is the drive, like the scenery and like, so it's still weird to me. Growing up in Philadelphia, it's still weird to me that I live 40 miles from Wyoming. Like that's still just like
Wyoming.
And I'm going to see my first baseball game in Wyoming with James Christopher later this year.
The Bison?
The Gem City Bison.
God.
With the mullet.
Cool or what? God, right. I love their stuff.
Can we talk about this thing that Philip just put up here? 40 days, 22 games, 17 different ballparks.
Sweet.
Bless
Jesus.
you.
God bless him, right?
That is awesome.
I'm curious, Philip, whether that was all Major League or all minor league or a combination.
It has to be a combo. The scheduling is just impossible.
Right. 40 days. Well, I mean, look at Susie Hunter, who will be a guest on my podcast next week about the Hartford Yard Goats.
Yes. Oh my God, her trip? Insane.
She did 31 Major League ballparks last year. And You
Wow.
might say, hey, there's only 30 Major League ballparks, but she saw one in Buffalo before
Yeah.
before Toronto moved back up there. So, um,
Imagine if she would have caught the one in Florida as well.
I asked her, I said, did you go to Dunedin? And she's like, nah. She's like, she's like, by the time I could have worked it out, they had moved up to Buffalo. And so, all right. She just got a job, by the way. I have to go back and add a note into the podcast because I've already got the podcast sort of scheduled and ready to go. But she just got a job with Denver Sports. So she went from covering the Hartford Yard Goats to covering the Colorado Rockies. So she's covering a lot of the same guys. But
nice. Good for her.
I think Eric just sneezed in the comments.
Yeah, he did. Bless you. Minnesota Twins were out of town, but they were team. Oh, okay. He was at the Twins store, okay.
So I have this on my map here. I actually have grayed out the stadiums where I've been to the ballpark but not seen a game.
Okay.
So I've got the Reno Aces that I did a tour of. I've got the West Michigan Whitecaps where I actually interviewed for a job and turned them down. They offered me the job, but I didn't want to take a 50% pay cut, so I stuck with where I was.
Probably makes sense.
Yeah, and then the Springfield Cardinals. So those three are in gray on my map because I still don't quite know what to do with a stadium that I've been to,
but not
actually seen a game.
But you've been in the stadium,
been into it. Yeah, I know, but it just is different. Like I didn't experience a game there. So just like, I mean, I've been to a Cleveland Indian game, but I drove past the ballpark and the team store this week, took a picture, sent it to the group of the Guardians Stadium. So
I'm not going to count that. I'm not going to count it.
No, I don't count it either. But I've been to the ballpark and I've seen the game. So yeah.
Not the Guardians. Doesn't count with the Guardians.
I don't need your approval.
No, there's been a couple, there's a couple of things, and see, like this is a goal of mine for this year, and it's maybe I'm in danger of it not happening because it's already April, and who knows, I'm going to get busy and not do it. But I've never really counted. I've been to a lot of places, and I've never sat down and counted. I've got some things I don't know how to count. Like we got into Chattanooga one night on our trip down to Alabama, and we were supposed to get there earlier. And I was thinking about going to a Lookouts game, but it took a while. We had issues. We got there. Kids were hungry. I'm looking at the clock like we can't make it to the game. I'm pissed, right? And a great father. It wasn't a great father moment, but we wound up going to the stadium. I was like, I just want to check it out. And it was like the bottom of the sixth inning, right? And I walk up. What I remember about Chattanooga is like there's all these stairs because Chattanooga is essentially just like on a hill. Everything is on a hill.
Like Asheville.
Yeah, exactly. So it did remind me a lot of Asheville. But so we walk up there, go up there, and at the gates, and I'm like, is there any way I can just like come in and check it out? I know you guys are already playing the game. And oh, honey, you can just come in. That's fine. They just let me walk around. Their game is on. I didn't pay. The whole family is inside the building. We're just standing around. Yeah. And I mean, technically I was there, but it doesn't feel right in my heart.
Oh, I would count it.
How many innings did you watch?
I mean, 2 innings, maybe 2 innings.
Count it.
Yeah,
you saw 2 innings of baseball in the ballpark. Count it
for free.
For
free.
Yeah. We've watched plenty of games for free.
This is like to me, like being outside a stadium or just going to the team store is like counting being in an airport as having visited a country, right? Like, but Patrick, no, that you saw I one time had like an 18-hour layover in Shanghai. And just for like visa reasons, they told us not to leave the airport. Like we didn't have visas to be in China. So I had to like just hang out in the Shanghai airport for like 18 hours. This was on my way back from Malaysia. And so I still to this day wish like I had just gone outside because we were in like the main terminal. I could have just gone outside and like taken a bus into the city and like pounded around and then come back. And probably no one would have batted an eye. But I was just like, I didn't want to end up in jail, right? Like if I go and
good idea.
Yeah. So to this day though, I'm like, could I have like, if I had gone into town into like Shanghai for an hour on a bus, could I tell people that I've been to Shanghai? And I just don't like, I don't know. I don't know if that would have counted. But that to me is like going to the team store, right? Is like
If you're gonna count it, I've been to Denver, Colorado.
Did you leave the airport?
No.
Nah, doesn't count. No, the airport doesn't count. The airport is like
it's in the middle of nowhere.
Well, the airport is in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. They call it the Denver airport, but it's like it might as well be the Western Kansas airport, right? Like
it's like in the middle of nowhere. That
out
place,
there on the plains. Absolutely. So, all right, I'm growing increasingly distrustful of Michael Sellers' stadium list here. He's like,
but no, but he agrees with us.
He's talking about Patrick. Yeah, you saw 2 innings of baseball
Patrick,
there.
Yeah, I count
This was going to become a problem for me at the Brooklyn Cyclones because the game was in danger of being rained out before it was official. We saw a Cyclones game there that was like, it was just like sort of pouring rain the whole time, but they somehow got the game in. And so I was like, okay, I think I would have counted it anyway. Like if it had gotten rained out after 4 innings or something.
Honestly, I think after a couple of innings, after a couple of innings, I count it.
Yeah. A lot of people talking about that Denver airport. That's I was there this morning on my way back from Cleveland. It's a pretty nice airport. I mean, I like it as so far as airports go. It's just far away. It's far away from the city. So
there it is. Well, yes, team store or outside the ballpark is a no.
Okay.
But inside actual ballpark is a yes to me, whether there is a game or not.
I've listened to Mike on his podcast. He's got a system. He's got a system. Everyone has a system, I think.
So he lives by the system. That's what he does, and that's good.
No, I'm and Mike's podcast is great, by the way. Up to Chat. I hope everyone listens to it. I had a blast being on it with him.
Yeah.
Talked about my Villanova Wildcats right before they got eliminated. So,
bad luck.
And then I had to interview Rob Nyer, who's a Kansas fan. I was just like, all right. So my experience at the West Michigan Whitecaps was, like I said, a job interview, and I saw like their offices, and I saw their did like a whole like full tour of the stadium. But it's still in gray. It's in gray. I count it but it's in gray. I acknowledge that I've been there.
I love how you have it in the gray area, like that. You literally
put it in
the gray area. The gray area.
Yeah. Well, make it like a different color, like yellow. Like yellow means you got a job offer. Like
right, you got to make it a different color, right?
Yeah.
Put it green, the color of money.
Yeah, that's a good call.
Look at our boy, go Jayhawks.
Did you see when Eric Prophet tweeted out that he went to a Kansas Jayhawks baseball game? They were giving away helmet Sundays as a giveaway.
Yeah,
that was pretty sweet.
I saw that. That'd be perfect for you.
Oh my god!
This story that like Philip is talking about, and that Patrick, you were talking about, the New Orleans Baby Cakes let them in for free during their last season. More people in the party deck in the stands. One time I was watching a Phillies game. Phillies went to 19 innings in this game, and they were just letting people in for free. And the game went to like 3 a.m, and they ended up winning on a Mitch Williams walk-off. Mitch Williams, the relief pitcher, hit a walk-off single. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And so Eric's trying to pull something here. Sorry, Eric. You're gonna have to sweeten the pot, Eric.
Oh, I was like, man, that Wranglers
helmet. Sorry. But anyway, they were just letting people in for free after a certain number of innings. And then when the bars closed in Philadelphia at like 1 a.m, right? Like all these people suddenly showed up at the game. And I'll never forget my all-time favorite story. I'm sitting there watching the game. I was a teenager, right? I was home from my job working at CVS. And I was I'm watching it's like 17th, 18th inning. And there's like the moment of silence. The broadcasters, Harry Callis and Richie Ashburn, they're like totally wiped. And all of a sudden, just clear as day, you hear a fan who's obviously like right below the broadcast booth. He goes, "It's late. We're all liquored up, and we want a home run." And I will never forget that.
That's awesome.
Colin Wilson says the Mets beat up on the Phillies this week. Ha ha. So
That's mean.
hope-
That's mean spirited.
I hope Colin is printing up some April champion T-shirts here. So
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't count
April-
anything in the month of April.
April NL East champions.
Right. And if you're a Mets fan, you should be really nervous. Like you
I
should
direct your
always
attention to the
Right.
7.5 game lead they had in September. in
Listen, at
2007.
some
Be
point-
cautious.
At some
Right.
point, Lindor is going to implode.
Oh no,
So
he's on my
that's
fantasy
how.
team.
That's usually how that goes. Middle of the year, something happens, and it's just and it's gonna happen. So be careful.
Everyone's picking him to have a great year this year, but don't they
told
say
you.
that about every Mets player every single
every year.
I
Yes.
feel like it's every year.
Yes. Is there anyone more doomed than a Mets fan taunting someone in April?
Yeah, I mean, it just isn't
Yeah.
a good look.
A Guardians
The
fan.
comeback. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And keep it to yourself. The Sox are on a roll.
I'm
I-
watching the Sox right now.
I love when Darla comes. I can't wait to meet Darla in person. Darla just does like such a great job of taunting Ed.
True
Yeah.
story. She was so pissed. At the ball because the weather sucked. I'll be honest, that weather sucked.
Yeah.
She was sitting in the car listening to the game while I was standing outside of the ballpark, right by the home run deck, so I can watch the rest of the game. I stood there and I watched that game. Darn it! I paid for those tickets. I will watch the game. So
I've had some fun at Cleveland games. I've had some good times at
At our
Progressive
expense?
Field. I like. Well, no. I've enjoyed. I've been to a couple of games, and I actually really like that park. I
Getting
love
new
the city
renovations.
of Cleveland. Yeah, I love. What's the nightlife area in Cleveland? Ohio City. I think.
Well,
it's
you got Ohio City, and then you also have, and of course, as soon as you put me on the spot, I'm going to forget, right?
Yeah.
The
Take some
flats.
time.
The flats.
The Flats. That's
The
right.
Flats.
We
I should have known this. I just got like the ultimate tour of Cleveland. I did everything in Cleveland in like 3 days. I got like the full on like just 24 hours a day for 3 straight days of just like being driven all around Cleveland and like seeing all these, University Circle, like seeing all the museums out there.
Oh, you were
I was
close to
thinking-
where I used to live.
Oh yeah, we were
Yeah.
right there. We went and saw all the museums out in University Circle. Our hotel was right next to the Brown Stadium, so right there, like by the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So that was cool.
Mhm.
And then we did some of like the living history sites, like down by Akron. And I was texting with the guys about how I was in Akron and not going to see the Rubber Ducks on their home opener, but it was all right because I saw the Lake County Captains on their home opener. So that was a new stadium.
I'm going to be honest. I'd rather go to an Akron game than Lake
Well,
County.
sure, but I had already been to Akron.
Oh, here we
So-
go.
I'd already seen a Rubber Ducks game.
Six
What's
straight.
here? What's here
No.
we go.
No, I thought we were going to avoid talking bad about the captains, but let's talk.
I know.
About the
I'm
captains.
trying. It's just, but I can't help it, guys.
Listen,
I've never
we-
been, so I have no feelings. I would like to go. I don't
We
know.
had
And-
lovely
and not
weather.
not get a helmet Sunday while I'm there. I'd love to go and not get.
We had lovely weather. It was a very good ball game. It was a competitive ball game. We did have a run score on consecutive errors. It was like 3 errors. It was a single and 3 errors. So it was like an inside the park home run, but it was a series of errors. Great view of the seats, like the mascot, open concourse, which I'm a huge fan of. Open concourse
it's
is
all
like
open.
a must for me.
Do you
Yeah,
like how
so I love that.
the bullpen is up in the corner? Like
Yeah.
you're in timeout.
Yeah. Great dad hats in the team store. I love this dad hat
Okay.
that I picked up. I think it's my only yellow dad hat. So
I love the captain's logo. I love
Yeah.
the captain's logo.
I love the old one.
a Dan Simon special, the new one's a Dan Simon special here. So you know that I'm a fan.
I love Dan
Um,
Simon. His stuff but I love the old logo.
Yeah.
I wish
Well,
they would
that's
bring that
okay.
one
You can
back.
have that nostalgia for that. So
Can't find a head for them though.
So I have to say that it actually here's Colin. Alec Boehm knows about 3 hours. They won that game.
Yeah.
It's all right. They won.
That's a funny story, though. That is a funny story.
It's a great story.
got-
Alec Boehm
he
saying
got
I effing
caught.
hate it here. Yeah.
He got
But
caught.
all right. And Mike Schmidt was saying on the broadcast the next day, he's like, yeah, we used to say that all the time. It's just we didn't have the same kinds of cameras and we didn't have social media. And he's like, yeah. So So that's all right, Colin. Colin, I'll check in with you throughout the season here. It's Mets fans pumping up their chest in April. It's like, okay, we've seen it before. So it's Alec Boehm when Alec Boehm got COVID a couple of years ago, a Phillies fan on Twitter said, "Oh, Alec Boehm can catch something." So,
Oh,
It started then. It's been going on for a while.
It's been going on for a while. He's not a great defender.
yikes!
Yeah, the defense is not going to be the Phillies' strong suit this year.
They'll have offense like no one's business, though.
True.
Yeah,
True.
should
We're
be.
gonna have to win a lot of games 14-13. So
It should
hey,
be.
I
have
yapped
to.
us right up to 10 o'clock here, but Ed, what do you have coming up on your podcast?
Next week, I got Everett Hazelwood. He played in the Appy League. He is currently drafted. He was drafted by your White Sox, Patrick.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know that.
So yep, he was drafted by, and he tells the story on a podcast. So that'll be out next week.
Awesome.
Very good.
And make sure you
Patrick,
guys
is there
listen to not Robbie. Brian Colopy of the Growlers and the Battle Jacks. That's a good.
That was a
one.
great episode. I just listened to it today on the airplane. It was great.
Yeah, that's in my queue to listen to because I like it. It seems like they've got some exciting things and plans. I like the Northwoods League, so I'm all
Yeah.
for
I'm a
it.
huge
man.
fan of the Northwest League. Yeah, for sure.
Patrick, is there anything new coming to baseballmapper.com or any of your platforms?
Well, there are some things in the works with this trip. We'll probably the trip to Alabama. We'll definitely have some more. You can count on some more, whether it's food, trash pandas, bananas thoughts. All those things come in, and then whatever other kind of surprises we have in May. I think we might also find ourselves on the road with a little pop-up trip in May as well. So
Love
Very
it.
good.
yeah.
Very good. Well, I hope everyone, if you get a chance, I have to say, like, it's not the most like glamorous of the teams that I featured on the podcast, but the Bakersfield Blaze episode that I just posted yesterday is like honestly one of my favorites. Like, it's just full of so many like hilarious stories about like this totally run down, like sort of hapless minor league team. So if you get a chance, this episode is one of my favorites. Coming up next week, though, I've got the Hartford Yard Goats,
Ooh.
and then the Joliet Slammers, and then the Carolina Disco Turkeys, and then the Rocket City Trash Pandas, and the Idaho Falls Chuckers, and the Danville Otterbots, and the West Coast League. So that's
Holy cow!
Jesus.
those are the ones I have lined up right now. And then in June, we've got the Woo Sox, the Burlington Sock Puppets, and the Missoula Paddleheads. So I got a lot.
Not enough. You don't have anything going on.
Baseball
No.
is definitely filling your time right now.
Well, I was doing this before, actually. This was
This is good though.
It
It's
is
okay.
good.
That's
it is
good.
good.
Paul will
All
tell
of
you
the
that if he
favorites.
was to die today, no one would know because all his episodes will still keep going.
It
That's
would-
right.
Give it a
If I
couple of
got-
months.
If my plane had gone down on the way home from Cleveland today, it would no one who knows me just from the podcast would know until like mid-June.
Speaking of the Missoula Paddleheads, shout out to Frank Hughes.
Ooh,
That's
Frank
the
Hughes.
clubby of the Missoula Paddleheads.
Oh,
I
you
found
got
that
it.
on Instagram.
You got it.
Frank Hughes, man, number one, man.
Nice,
He's the best
love
clubby
it.
in the business.
Did I
Thanks
say
so
something
much.
was my favorite? Patrick is calling me out here because I never say something's my favorite. Did I say something was my favorite? Patrick, what did I say?
Paul with
I'm
a
still-
favorite. Come on,
I'm-
Patrick Larson.
I'm still boycotting Patrick because he hasn't listened to our podcast recently.
Yeah, no, I
That
think
isn't
you're right.
true. No, cut him some slack, man. It's all right.
The nicest
Patrick,
guy, right?
Patrick should be more supportive of all of us.
Yeah, he should lift us all up more
Yeah.
than he currently does. right?
Patrick, how about having a
no.
little positivity in
God.
life, huh?
Yeah,
Will ya?
more smiling out of you. More smiling.
Oh, a favorite episode I did. I see. Thank you, Darla. Darla keeping me in check too now.
Yeah, keeping you in check, bro.
Well, I'm not saying it's my favorite episode. I didn't mean to say that. I say everything is my favorite. Oh, I see.
He's probably right.
That's true. You guys are all my favorite.
Wow, look at Patrick just throwing shade at you like that.
Yeah, Patrick.
It's just
Patrick.
typical of him. That's just
Wow.
the way he is.
This is the Patrick bringing everyone down, trying to like.
I
he's
don't know who
stepping
says
on-
he's a nice guy because I don't see it in that comment.
Yeah, no,
Oh.
he steps on everyone else's head to prop himself
Yep.
up. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
That's
typical
just his
Patrick.
way.
Yeah.
But in
it was-
all honesty, the nicest guy. He is
Totally.
the nicest guy. Totally,
Totally.
the nicest guy.
Totally. He's like one of those guys, like, you know, your mom would tell you when you were little, right? If you made a funny face and someone smacked you on the back, you'd be stuck with that face forever. I think Patrick got smacked in the back while he was smiling as big as he could.
And he got
Because I've
stuck
never
with
seen him
it.
not smile. So
Patrick is he's the hype man you need.
right. We all need a hype man like Patrick. So
So
all right. Hey, we kept everyone 5 minutes late. Patrick Newt, other Patrick. We have two Patricks in the Curve Brim media. So we've got Pat and Patrick. Patrick, thank you for being here. Baseballmapper.com is an awesome site. This was a fun conversation. And you guys are the best. And Darla,
make sure you
please
guys
let
following
Ed
them
come
also.
to
They have a
Minnesota.
YouTube channel, so let's go.
Guys, thanks so much for having us. I appreciate it so much. It's always a joy to hang out with you guys. I can't wait to see you both in person real soon.
Really soon. Really soon. Patrick, keep us apprised of your plans because I may just like for real, just like find a way to like make my way to you when you are on one of your trips here.
That sounds good. We'll do.
Oh, whoa, CFO, calm down, CFO, calm
Hey,
down.
ooh,
Maybe.
damn.
Darla.
We're gonna work on that.
Yep,
Darla's
we're
my
deleting that
favorite.
comment. Love you, honey. I love you.
All
so
right.
much.
I love you too, Ed. We'll talk to you later.
Bye, guys.
Take care.
Bye, Patrick. See you guys.